Hi volunteers, it's Nicole from Aleo. This quick video is part of the training videos for volunteer lawyers participating in Illinois' Free Legal Answers program. The purpose of this video is to provide tips to lawyers on what an ideal answer to a client question might look like. As lawyers, we all have our communication styles. I'm not trying to change that. It is just that I strongly believe that as part of our profession, all lawyers need to, for a lack of better term, develop a good bedside manner. On Free Legal Answers, your communication with clients obviously will be entirely online in a written format. It is probably most similar to drafting an email. I think this form of communication especially requires lawyers to provide thoughtful, professional responses. So I'd like to take a few minutes to talk to you about using a great bedside manner to craft an ideal response to a client. First, I'd like to stress the importance of including a greeting. As adults, when we meet people in person, it is probably pretty natural for most of us to shake someone's hand, say hello, or maybe just give them a wave and a smile. A lot of us do the equivalent of this in our emails too. Why is this important here? Why am I taking the time to tell you to greet people by their names? This is something we all probably learned in preschool. Research shows that when you greet people with their name, it makes them feel known, seen, and valued. A lot of what you will be doing as a lawyer on Free Legal Answers is letting a client know that someone is listening. You hear them, you value them, you see that they are struggling. The legal system can be a confusing, overwhelming, and intimidating place. Most of the clients posting on Free Legal Answers will never have a chance to speak with a lawyer outside of the answer that you provide. There will be no lawyer to stand next to them and guide them through whatever situation they are experiencing. If you do nothing else in your answer, then at the very least you can let your client know that you heard them, that someone is listening. You can even go one step further and include a sympathetic or encouraging message after your greeting. Here is a sample of all the things that I think might go into an ideal answer. I will put that ideal in air quotes. I understand that there are many different styles. We all have a different bedside manner. We've already talked about greeting and an encouraging message. The other things to include will be the actual legal information or advice. Many times this will be linking your client to content on the IllinoisLegalAid.org website, either a plain language article that explains the situation and provides clear instructions. Oftentimes it will be a form that the client will need to file at court. Sometimes you will be including information on lawyer referrals. And of course, at the very end, there will be a complimentary closing. Before we go into the middle section, the meat of your answer, let's look at those two other things. Let's talk about how to say goodbye. I'd ask that you also include a complimentary closing with your first name, such as Sincerely Thomas. If you are familiar at all with this pro bono program, or have watched the other training videos, then you know that the default is to be anonymous to the clients. You will only be identified as Volunteer Lawyer 68 or the like. I ask that you sign your name. If you are only comfortable signing your first name, that is fine, and it's what most of the volunteers do. If you have an extremely unique first name and you do not want a client being able to Google you, then of course it is fine not to include your name. Adding a complimentary closing is just another way to improve your bedside manner. Just a note about this. I have some volunteers who provide their full name and contact information. This is not a website where you should be soliciting business, but it is okay to include this information. If a client were to ever contact you outside the website, then that would be a new attorney-client relationship, and our malpractice insurance would no longer cover those interactions. Let's talk about the meat of your answer. In these last few slides, I will explain to you the difference between legal information and legal advice, teach you about writing your answer in plain language, provide you with language on how to respond when someone asks for a free lawyer, and teach you how to insert hyperlinks. The purpose of this video is not how to train you on becoming competent in substantive area of law. I have another training video that teaches you how to use the IllinoisLegalAid.org website so that you can provide the correct legal advice. There are two terms that you should know: legal information and legal advice. Legal information explains the law and the legal system in general terms. The information is not tailored to a specific case. Legal advice applies the law to a particular situation. It provides recommendations about what course of action would best suit the facts and what the person wants to achieve. Taken as a whole, your answer is giving legal advice. Illinois Free Legal Answers is committed to providing individual responses to a client's question, giving them the legal advice that is most appropriate to their situation. A lot of times you will be doing so by linking the client to legal information on the IllinoisLegalAid.org website. Next, I'd like to teach you a little bit about writing in plain language. The clients posting on the website have a wide range of literacy levels. Some questions are posted with misspellings and almost no punctuation. Other questions are posted in what only could be assumed to be a college level with no spelling or punctuation errors, varied sentence structure, and a good vocabulary. When you draft your answer, you will want to keep in mind what you assume of the literacy level of your client based on the characteristics of their writing. But generally, writing in plain language is the best way. If you aren't familiar with plain language, then I can provide you a quick overview. Your goal is to aim for a 5th to 6th grade reading level. It is important to use familiar words and phrases. Instead of saying, "there are certain appeal procedures," say, "this is how you appeal." Don't say, "there is an attendance requirement." Say, "you have to show up." It's true in Illinois, custody and visitation are now called allocation of parental responsibilities and parenting time. Use the terms custody and visitation in your answer. It is what clients understand. It provides better readability. If it makes you feel better, you can include a disclaimer such as, "Custody is no longer custody. It is called allocation of parental responsibilities. However, in the rest of your answer, call it custody." Short paragraphs and bullet points are best, including sentences no longer than 20 words. Here's a quick example of the difference. The top sentence defines legal guardian. It is a well-crafted sentence. As 1Ls in legal writing class, we probably would have been very pleased with ourselves over that sentence. But while short, it is written at a college reading level. The second is now just not one sentence, it's actually a short paragraph that is separated by spaces and bullet points. But look, it's at a 7th grade reading level. This is what you are trying to achieve. Let's move on to another tip. Many of the questions being posted are from people asking to find a free lawyer. The clients all have a different understanding of the legal world. Sometimes they use the correct terminology. Some will ask for pro bono lawyers, others for a legal aid referral. A few will be confused and ask for a public defender. In the vast majority, probably 95% or more of the questions posted, there will be no possibility of a free legal aid lawyer. If you have watched the training video on the Legal Aid Pro Bono Lawyer Partnership, then you will know why this is. Suffice it to say, there aren't enough legal aid lawyers in Illinois. You will be tempted to refer someone to legal aid. Please do not do so. As part of another training, I will explain in what very limited circumstances you can refer to a legal aid organization. Please also don't give someone false hope that they will find a pro bono lawyer. Do you work for free? Family law and consumer debt lawyers do not either. For these types of questions, you will need to do 3 things. First, break the news. You can even explain that when you do not have a lawyer, it is called acting pro se. Maybe give a pep talk. Second, if they provide an explanation to their problem, then give legal advice. Third, you can provide resources on how to find a lawyer. I think it is best to write something like, "It is always best to find referrals for lawyers through family and friends. However, here are some websites that are reputable." Outside of Cook County, the only place you will be recommending is the local county bar association or the Illinois State Bar Association's Lawyer Finders website. In Cook County, there are a few more options. You can check the attached handout. There is one more thing that I would like to cover. That is, inserting hyperlinks and how to do it correctly, following research for best practices on the usability and style of hyperlinks. Here are 3 different options of ways to format a link. Research based on the design of hyperlinks and usability that show number 2 is the best way to include a link. I'm going to quickly walk you through how to create that type of hyperlink. Step 1 is to highlight the relevant words where you will insert a hyperlink, then click on the hyperlink icon, which kind of looks like a paperclip. Once you click on the hyperlink icon, a box will pop up labeled Insert Link. For step 3, you're going to open an additional tab in your internet browser. Find the content that you want to link to in your answer. Click on the URL or address bar and highlight the entire URL. For the last step, go back to the browser window with free legal answers. In the pop-up box, paste the URL into the top box that says URL. Click OK, and you have now created your hyperlink. Not so hard. I have now gone over every part of what I think composes an ideal answer. Thank you for your time and listening. Any questions, please contact me.